不辱使命。
Non c'è bisogno di fare tanto casino. Per la fortuna ti ha abbandonato. Ora te la vedrai con me.
Ooh, I have to get serious now. I will not back down. You've never ever noticed the hideous grins of conspirators. I have to get serious now.
알겠습니다.
Your orders. Did you ever imagine friends turning against each other and homeland fading into nothing but memories? 이놈 내 상대가 될 수 있을까? We're counting on you again today, little apple. Hi. Can't you feel the cities crumbling away? To the death. 자, 니놈들의 죄를 세워보거라! 이 전기톱에 두 동강 나기 싫으면 빨리 항복하시지! I'm ready.
Forward.
Veronica for Victoria!
Solidify. Yielding is not an option.
The match is starting now. Get around me, guys! I await your words. 交给我吧!
Many intellectuals must join up.
Yo! How about another barbecue? Your orders. Reload! Hellfire! Locked and loaded!
One strike, and sunder the tides kept. After all this time, you still tend to war for solutions.
It's not my wish to take lives.
1,000 moves in one breath.
Mission accomplished.
Phew! I'm exhausted. I want to go lie down, Doctor.
For want of a nail, the kingdom was lost. What a pain.
I'm here to help!
Run while you can. Better to be a coward with a pulse than a martyr with a grave. My rule is the balance your lives hang in. Not one step forwards.
I have to get serious now.
Get lost. Hellfire. Locked and loaded. Keep screaming!
Would any of you like to have to get serious now?
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
got it. Anya will crush you. As you bid. 到我发挥的时候了。你놈이 내 상대가 될 수 있을까? 이 근처 온도. Get around, guys. It's my duty to stand here. Don't go too difficult to explain. Let me paint it for you. Can't you feel the cities crumbling away? 이건 무기를 물들여 전장을 끓어오르게 한다. Match is starting now.
Look at this spectacular sight. Alas, it is now a battlefield. 1,000 moves in one breath.
Yeah.
1,000 moves in one breath.
알겠습니다. Can't you hear the children's cries?
At 1,000 moves in one breath. At 1,000 moves in one breath. One unsteady posture, wavering intent, much to learn yet.
What the world? Burn!
Unsteady posture. After all this time, you still tend to war for the 1,000 moves in one breath.
Target location reached. Forward.
Unsteady posture. Unsteady posture. Strike! And strike! Unsteady posture. Strike! 1,000 move after all this. Strike! And sunder the tides cleft. Attract and leave no peace. Strike! 1,000 moves in one breath. Unsteady posture. 1,000 move after all this unsteady. Strike! 1,000 unsteady posture. After all this unsteady posture, wavering intent, much to learn yet.
It's my duty to protect everyone. My resolve will never falter, no matter the odds. Judgment time! Gather up, my rats. It's my duty to stand here.
My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
Can't you feel the cities crumbling away? This battlefield would do well with a splash of ink. 알겠습니다.
I shall cover you. A warrior must be ready to face it.
Can't you feel the cities crumbling away?
Yes. A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
All right, it's my turn. To the death I go. 전기톱 보는 소리 잘 들리. Did you ever imagine friends turning against each other and homeland fading into nothing but memories? 혹시 I am rather attached to you most of the time.
발목을 붙잡는 일은 없도록 하겠습니다.
이놈이 내 상대가 될 수 있죠, 배워봐. I'm here to help. Match has started. We're counting on you again today, little apple. Gather around me, guys! To the death I go.
Many intellectuals must join a battle before penning a decent verse. Including that sister of mine. After all this time, you still tend to 1,000 moves in one breath. Strike! And sunder the tides cleft. Retract. And leave no peace bereft.
Your orders.
After all this time, you still tend to war for solutions. One should strike and sunder. After all this time, you still tend to war for solutions.
光芒将坚守 This is the place.
Strike and sunder the tides cleft. Strike and sunder the tides cleft. Unsteady posture, wavering intent, 1,000 moves in one breath.
Don't go copy the infinite with the tangible. Bring the intangible to life.
Unsteady posture, wavering intent, 1,000 moves in one breath. Unsteady posture, wavering intent, much to learn. After all this time, you still tend to war for some strike and sunder the tides cleft. Retract and leave no peace bereft.
This is commence treatment. Target location reached. 我绝不会退缩半步。
I shall cover you.
Pain. Not one step forwards.
시작할게.
Unsteady posture, wavering intent, much strike and 1,000 moves in one breath. Strike and sunder the tides cleft. Retract and leave no peace bereft. Unsteady posture, wavering intent, unsteady posture, wavering intent, much to learn yet. 1,000 move, unsteady posture, 1,000 move. After all this, strike. After all this unsteady posture, 1,000 move, unsteady posture, 1,000 move. After all this, 1,000 move, unsteady. After all this unsteady posture, 1,000 move, unsteady posture, strike. Unsteady posture, 1,000 move, strike. After all this, strike. Unsteady pop, strike. After all this unsteady pop, 1,000 move, unsteady pop, strike. 1,000 move, strike. Strike. Unsteady pop, strike. 1,000 move, unsteady pop. After all this 1,000 move, strike. And such 1,000 move. After all this unsteady pop. After all this unsteady pop, 1,000 move, unsteady pop, strike. 1,000 moves, unsteady pop. After all this unsteady pop. After all this unsteady pop, strike. Unsteady posture, wavering intent, much to learn yet.
Your tactics appear modern, yet the ideas behind them are primitive at their roots. Just who are you?
네. 목적지와 표적은 전부 파악하고 있습니다.
I'm here to help.
We'll take them out all at once.
내 노랫소리로 싸움을 멈출 수 있으면 좋을 텐데. I have to get serious now.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
Understood.
Can't you hear the children's cries?
My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
We're counting on you again today, little apple.
I shall cover you.
시작할게.
Not one step backwards.
I am your shadow.
Can't you feel the cities crumbling away?
This is the place.
My rule is to balance your lives.
Can't you hear the children's cries?
내 차례야. 단숨에 역전.
Alright, it's my turn.
Give it up.
Got it. If you want to hurt my friends, you have to go through my shield first.
What? The world? Would any of you like to be my
I'm rep your order. Can't you hear the children's cries?
정의 오퍼레이터한테 배운 절단술을 정의 오퍼레이터한테 배운 절단술을
Honor must be defended.
To the death I go.
이놈이 내 상대가 될 수 있을까? 좋아.
Many intellectuals must join a battle before penning a decent verse, including.
You've never ever noticed the hideous grins of conspirators.
After all this time, you still tend to war for solutions.
Is it my turn?
Got it.
The match is starting now. Don't go too difficult to explain.
1,000 moves in one breath. At your unsteady posture, wavering intent,
You've never ever noticed the hideous grins of conspirators.
unsteady posture, wavering intent. Much too. After all this time, you still tend to war for solutions.
Call for help immediately if you're injured. This is...
After all this time, you still tend to war for solutions.
会战斗祷告吧。
Forward.
At your command.
Yes, sir. Your orders. Can't you feel the city's crump?
Strike! And sunder the tides cleft. Unsteady. After all this, strike! After all this, strike! Strike! 1,000 move, unsteady. After all this time, 1,000 moves in one breath. After all
I
this,
will not come...
unsteady pop. Strike! And sunder the tides cleft. Unsteady pop. 1,000 move. After all this, strike! 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 1,000 move. Unsteady pop. After all this time, unsteady pop. After all this time, strike! Unsteady posture. After all this unsteady posture. After all this time, you still tend to war for solutions. After all this time, you still 1,000 move. After all this time, unsteady posture. Strike! 1,000 moves, and after all this time, 1,000 moves in one strike. And sun unsteady posture. 1,000 move. After all this, 1,000 move, strike. Unsteady pop. After all this unsteady pop. 1,000 moves and strike. Strike. And sunder the tides cleft. Retract.
虽然很微小，但我们的光芒坚持到了最后。
For want of a nail, the kingdom was lost. What a pain.
交给我吧。
My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
一鼓作气。This battlefield would 示我一拳。
Get lost.
This 一鼓作气。Don't go too difficult to explain. Let me paint it for you.
My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
示我一拳。
My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
可不要小看我啦！
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
休想突破！ Let's put them 6 feet under.
Get lost.
休想突破！ Mosai Dog, give me a reason to let you go. Don't have one? What a pity.
Hellfire! Locked and loaded! Shriek all you want! No, but...
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
我绝不会退缩半步。
Get behind me.
As you bid. Get in the line of death! I await your word.
My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
Shriek all you want! Even without a blade, I can run you through!
交给我吧。
Get lost. Are you ready?
示我一拳。Sure it's fun.
Alright, it's my turn. Shriek all you want! Nobody cares!
Many intellectuals must join a battle.
Shriek all you want! Nobody cares!
1,000 moves in one breath. After all this time, used to 1,000 moves in one breath. Unsteady posture, wavering in after all this, 1,000 move unsteady strike. 1,000 moves in one unsteady posture. Strike and sunder strike. And 1,000 moves in one after all this strike. Unsteady 1,000 move strike. Strike. After all this strike. Strike. Unsteady after all this 1,000 move strike. Unsteady strike. Strike. 1,000 move after all this strike. Unsteady 1,000 move unsteady strike. 1,000 move, 1,000 move, 1,000 move. After all this, 1,000 move, unsteady pop. After all this, strike. After all this, strike. 1,000 move, unsteady pop. After all this, unsteady pop. Strike. After all this, strike. After all this, 1,000 move, unsteady pop, strike. Strike. 1,000 move. After all this, 1,000 move. After all this, unsteady pop. Strike. After all this, strike. Unsteady pop. After all this, strike. 1,000 move. After all this, 1,000 move, 1,000 moves in one unsteady posture. Wavering. After all this, 1,000 move. After all this, 1,000 move, unsteady pop. 1,000 move, unsteady pop. After all this, strike. Unsteady pop. 1,000 move, 1,000 move, strike. Unsteady pop. 1,000 move. After all this, unsteady pop. 1,000.
All will fall before the priestess's might.
It better remain a secret forever.
We'll
take them out all at once.
Good scenery here, Doctor.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
We're counting on you again today, little apple.
All right then.
我绝不会退缩半步。
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
Would any of you like to be my paint? Gather around me, guys.
Get lost.
Doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
Let's put them 6 feet under.
My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
I have to get serious now.
Your orders.
Get lost.
Moser thought you didn't think. So this is what happens when you cross the line.
Get lost.
I will not back down. 交给我吧，休想突破。전기터보는
Don't see any harm in this.
Can't you feel the cities crumbling away? 열심히 하겠습니다. 라이브 스타트!
Forward. Yielding is not an option.
Hellfire! Lock! Can't you hear the children's cries? Target location reached.
Solidify.
내 노랫소리로 싸움을 멈출 수 있으면 좋을 텐데.
Suppress them.
Does it hurt? I bet! Can't you feel the cities crumbling away? Grant me strength. I will protect us all.
Yielding is not an option.
Your orders, did you ever imagine? Friends turning against each other, and homeland fading into nothing but memories? Does it hurt? I bet it does!
Yeah, fine.
我绝不会退缩半步。
Your order.
Reload!
solidify.
Did you ever imagine friends turn out with a
Drink all you want! Nobody cares!
It's my turn. Yielding is not an option.
내 차례 안심의 역전! The Flying Chariot!
You've never ever noticed the hideous grins of conspirators.
Get in the line of death!
Your orders.
준비해주고! Get in the line of death! Does it hurt? I bet it does! Yep, cannon fire is just the first step. Keep screaming!
The very wall will fall before the priestess's might.
Does it hurt? I bet it does!
이놈이 내 상대가 될 수 있어. To the death I go.
This will be over soon.
Not one step forward.
천둥 소리를 들으십시오.
Elimina gli ostacoli e vai avanti. È l'unico modo per risolvere un problema.